A very good morning to all our live viewers. We're back with the first match of the Super Saturday. 20 without any loss after two Pink Panthers winning the toss, opting to bat first against the Game Changers. Good start for Pink Panthers. Hit straight as an arrow will beat the mid-off fielder that's racing away to the boundary. Another over starts off with a boundary. Anirudh MS looking in full flourish. He's raced away to 15 of just 7 deliveries. Anirudh, 8 of 6 for Rilasa Reddy at the non-striker end. Akhil Reddy starts off his second with a boundary. 11 without any loss. This time, short ball beautifully pulled away. He got into a position very early. Not enough pace to trouble Anirudh MS on that occasion. Akhil Reddy going into the surface, banged it halfway. That ball got at a good height but still comfortably pulled. Not enough pace for Akhil Reddy to trouble Anirudh MS, who beautifully pulls it on the front foot, well in front of square leg, and beats the fielder inside the circle with his back to back boundaries to start off the over. This time on the charge. This is much better length. Just short of good length. Anirudh giving the charge to the bowler, trying to get to the pitch of the ball, but Akhil Reddy was good enough to drag his length back. That ball hitting high on the bat, hitting the maker sticker on the bat. Once again into the surface, this time beautifully directed. They'll go for a quick single. What a ball that was from Akhil Reddy. Quick in terms of pace and well directed as well. No room for Anirudh MS on that occasion to pull that one as he's got too close to the body. Coming in sharply with the angle, not allowing enough. So it will only be a single down to short fine leg. So now the strike is back to the right hander. Rilasa Reddy who's got 8 of 6. He's got a start. Rilasa Reddy known for starting slow, but once he gets going, it's hard to contain. Well, that's in the air. Will go over the infield, but it will be cut off by mid-on fielder. They are looking for two. They'll get two comfortably. Excellent piece of running between the wicket. Once again, short of good length. Batter looking to play straight. Doesn't get it out of the middle. This is better length from Akhil. He needs to be there on regular basis in order to trouble the batter. Last ball of the over. Once again, this time Rilasa Reddy gets all of it and deposits one out of the park. Over long off. What a shot that was! It was not a half volley by any means, but the batter is too good. It's just the class of Rilasa Reddy who hits through the line and hits it out of the park for a six. An expensive over from Akhil Reddy. 17 coming off that one. 37 without any loss. Pink Panthers after three. Off to a star. Off to a flyer. Pink Panthers. They haven't lost a wicket yet. Both the batters now looking well set and looking to go hard at the bowling. RM56 will continue. Went for 13 in his first over. Now will bowl his second and will bowl the fourth over of the inning. Power play still in progress. So now completely changed field setup for RM56. He's got long on long off. Both straight fielder behind. Well, that ball kept low. Skids through the surface. Anirudh MS was looking to pull that one in the mid wicket, but that ball went real low. It's a very challenging thing for the batter if the ball keeps that low. It's not easy to line that kind of bounce. We need to play with very straight bat in order to get to that ball. That will create some doubts in the batter's mind. They were cruising. They're looking to go after the bowler, but that will create some doubts. This time punched off the back foot, a misfield in the covers. No stopping that ball in the outfield. That's a boundary. What a shot that was. Came right off the meat of bat. Went straight to the short covers. Who doesn't get down in time and lets the ball go through right between his legs. That's a boundary. Welcome boundary for Pink Panthers. 41 is up with that boundary. Anirudh MS raised to 24 of just 12 deliveries with the strike rate of 200. What a start this has been for Pink Panthers. We have seen no holding backs, no half measures for Pink Panthers these days. This time a change in pace. Anirudh MS just happy to nudge one down to long off for a single. This is excellent piece of batsmanship from Anirudh MS. Apart from hitting boundaries, he's got plenty other to his game. On that occasion, happy to rotate the strike, gets the single and hands over the strike to Rilasa Reddy. 16 of 8 for Rilasa Reddy. Started off slow, but he's now gathered the pace. He's got a 6 at the very last ball of previous over. Both these batters look to buy them some time, but once they are in, very destructive. Short play, excellent so far. Slower delivery, very full. Rilasa looking to hit hard, but loses his shape on that occasion. That ball moves down to long off for a single all along the carpet. 43 without any loss after 3.4. What more can you ask? After winning the toss, the captain of Pink Panther said, "We'll bat first," and it's proved out to be a right decision so far. What a form this man has been, Anirudh MS. Talk about form. How's that? Well played off the back foot, straight to point. It's a dot ball. Well, a wild throw. There was no need for that throw. A point fielder charging towards the ball and releases that one very quickly. RM56. The bowler tried his very best. Miss. That's a dot ball to close out the over. A good one from RM56. 7 coming off the fourth over. Well, Pink Panthers 44 without any loss after 4. First change in the bowling lineup. Now Chanchanaidu into the attack. Very experienced bowler Chanchanaidu. Balls in with a short run up. Starts off with a very full delivery on the pads. Clipped away. Down to long on for a single by Anirudh MS. Score moves to 45. 66 matches for Chanchanaidu. 46 wickets. Economy 7.73. Best figures of 4 for 30. Very strong field on the offside. All inside the circle. Short cover well inside the circle to stop those quick singles. Well, looking for a very expensive drive there. Rilasa Reddy hitting the ground. Huge appeal as there was a sound there. That sound came when Rilasa Reddy was looking to drive and hit the ground. No contact with the ball saves him there. A good decision by the match official. Well, Chanchanaidu flirting with the danger there. Very full outside off stump. Well, that's an excellent change up. That's the variation that Chanchanaidu has up his sleeves. Completely takes the pace off the ball. Is not quick enough to bang halfway into the surface. That is the reason why he heavily relies on the change up in the pace. He's got very wide long on and a very straight long off against Anirudh MS. Well, this time it's a poor delivery down the leg that's been given wide. Chanchanaidu need to be accurate. Well, it's hard to bowl against right hand left hand combination where you have to change plans, we have to change angles to the every other batter. Once again on the pads, clipped away down to fine leg for a single. Only two fielders inside the circle apart from long on. So plenty of gaps there, but Anirudh is just happy to nudge one around for a single. Not taking risk against Chanchanaidu so far. Only four. So far, only four of the over. 48 without any loss for Pink Panthers. They they will have an over after this in the power play. So they're making full use of the field restrictions. Well, that's a very good delivery from Chanchanaidu. Just inside that wide line on the off stump. It was a Yorker. Rasa Reddy lets it go through thinking that it might be given wide, but the umpire says otherwise. That was excellent delivery from Chanchanaidu. He's got experience behind him. Well, slower in terms of pace. That's in the air and taken in the deep. Well, that is what the experience does. An excellent change of pace. Well, Rila Saredi falling for the trap, looking for the big shot. Holds out in the deep. Bharat, the man there in the deep, who makes no mistake. So Rila Saredi is the first one to depart for Pink Panthers. He played well, but has to walk back now. Pink Panthers first down at the very last ball of the fifth over as the game changes. Draw first blood in this match. 48 for the loss of one after 5. Another change up in the bowling attack. Bharat Kumar, the catcher, now back into the attack, starts off with a dot ball. 733 matches for Bharat Kumar, 534 wickets. Economy under 7, 6.72. Best figures of 5 for 17. Talk about experience. How's that? Anirudh getting down the track, trying to get to the pitch of the ball. A very experienced bowler, Bharat Kumar. So I'm coming, banked halfway into the surface. Played off the back foot, down to long on for a single. 49 for 1. Pink Panthers. They fluent up until that over, but Chanchanaidu into the attack, straight away. Breakthrough. Gets the first wicket of the match. Sends Rilasa Reddy back on his very way. Now third man and sweeper cover are the two fielders outside the circle for the new batter Ritvik, who's in at number 3. What a beauty that was from Bharat Kumar on the length, leaving the right-hander. A tentative poke by Ritvik, who's fortunate to still out there as it was very close to that outside edge. He's a very good batter, Ritvik. 80 matches for him, 3,177 runs, averaging over 44. Strike rate very good, 154.45 for Ritvik, as he is more than capable batter for Pink Panthers. But at the moment, Bharat Kumar is getting better of him. Back to back two beauties and two dots in a row. Once again on the length. This time Ritvik does well to get on the top of the bound. Just punches one off the back foot. It's a dot ball, but well played. That will feel him. That will make him feel good, Ritvik, as that came right off the meat. An excellent over so far from Bharat Kumar. This time cut away, but straight to the point. So no single there. That's a dot ball to close out the over. What an over that was. Last over of the power play goes for 1. That's an excellent comeback from the game changers. They are meant to change the game. They have done it in the final 2 overs of the power play. But still, it's a good power play for Pink Panthers, I must say, as they get 49 by just losing 1 in their power play. So field now will be well spread out as the power play is done and dusted. 49 for 1 after 6, Pink Panthers. Another change into the attack. Straight away. Spin after the power play. These are good tactics from the game changers. Only an over for Chanchanaidu. He's taken off after getting the wicket of Rilasa Reddy. He's been taken off the attack. Understandably, as the power play has been completed, they want to proceed with the spin straight away. So hands over the ball to Yash. Yash with his right arm off break. Starts off with a very full delivery on the pads, clipped away down to square leg. Well, Anirudh MS there coming back for the second run. Excellent piece of running between the wicket between these two. 50 is up for Pink Panthers. 51 for the loss of 1 after 6.1. 213 matches for Yash. 306 wickets. Economy under 6. 5.84. Best figures of 5 for 11. He is a genuine wicket taker, Yash. A very good delivery. Slow through the air. Asking the questions. Anirudh does well. Punches one in the covers for a single. We have seen time and time that Anirudh MS gets slow after the power play, but how will he proceed in this match? Well, that's excellent piece of running between the wicket between these two. Just wide of that deep extra cover fielder, and they're back for two in a flash. These two are very fit and very quick between the wickets. Well, that's a beauty from Yash. This time the ball going straight with the arm, not turning. Ritvik just lets it go through, throwing wide of the batter on that occasion. Once again wide, but this time flat batted straight as an arrow. A misfield will allow the ball to go for a boundary. That's a welcome boundary. First one for Ritvik. First one in the last 3 overs. Well, that was a good shot from Ritvik. Got down to his knee and flat bats one straight long off. Got to the ball, but still cannot stop that one. Well, that's in the air. This time looking for the slog sweep. Gets the leading edge. Fortunate for Anir. Ritvik there. No one there inside the circle, so it lands in no man area. So it will only be a single. This is good over for Pink Panthers as they get 11 of the 7th over by Yash. Pink Panthers 59 for the loss of 1 after 7. Bharat Kumar to continue after that excellent first over, giving away only one run in the final over of the power play. That was excellent stuff. Couple of singles to start off this over. All in all, good figures for Bharat Kumar so far. 1.2 overs, 3 for none so far for him. As I said, he's a very experienced bowler. He's got tons of experience under his belt. Over 600 matches for him. More than 550 wickets. Well, that was a slow one gone wrong. A low full toss, but still it will only be a single down to long on. Looking for the off cutter on that occasion. Bharat Kumar gets it totally wrong. Low full toss, fortunate that he gets away with that one. So three singles so far in this over. A length delivery. What a ball that was. Pace was up on that delivery. Taking the glove of Anirudh as ball moves down to third man for a single. What a ball that was. Completely squared up the left hander. Anirudh MS now just rotating the strike, looking to get the game forward. His approach totally changes after the power play, as we have seen in the past as well. Bats very aggressively in the power play, hunts for boundaries on regular basis, whereas after the power play, he looks to rotate strike and looks for a out boundary every now and then. So totally change in intent inside the power play and outside the power play for the left-hander right at the top. Very successful batter, well known for his big knocks. Can change gears very quickly when required. At the moment, Bharat Kumar, he's bowling a beautiful spell. Ends off is over with a very full delivery. It's only a single down to long off. In fact, down to long on. So five singles coming off the eighth over by Bharat Kumar. 64 for the loss of one. Pink Panthers after eight. Good little comeback from the game changers. They have slowed the things very nicely after that first four overs going for 44. They have come back strongly and only conceded 20 in their next four. Talk about comeback. Take a bow. Game changers. They've completely changed the game and they have got back themselves right back into this game. Yash will continue. Expensive first over for him. Went for 10. Starts off with a very wide delivery. In fact, that was wide by a very big margin. Almost out of the pitch limit, that one. This time played down the ground. Down to long off for a single. Ritvik happy to rotate strike. 11 of 13 for Ritvik. Whereas 34 of 22 for Anirudh MS. Yes, he's got a slip now. In this over, slip, gully, point, and short cover inside the circle. Whereas sweeper cover, long off, long on, deep mid wicket, and square leg outside the circle. That's a very good delivery. Attacking the stumps, pitching on the middle stump, trying to straight that one. Anirudh MS gets a stride out and defends one off the front foot. Very full delivery, looking for the slog sweep, inside edge, onto the pads, down to the bowler on his follow through. That's a dot ball, back to back dot balls. Pressure now building on the batters. Well, this time it's been nudged away on the onside, down to long on for a single. This is good passage of play for the game changers. They have given themselves a very good chance to come back in this game by bowling those dot deliveries, by bowling those economical overs. Well, looking for the big shot, gets no elevation on that. It's just only a single down to long on. Well, a long on has been a very productive area for both the batters for singles after the power play. So the choke is on, I must say, by the game changers. In fact, I must say the squeeze is on. Well, they're looking for second one. A very big boundaries. Well, square leg had plenty of work which he needs to do, and he does well, but still cannot restrict the batter from coming back for two. So 6 runs coming off the ninth over by Yash. Pink Panther 70 for the loss of one after 9 overs. Well, this will be the final over. Final over from this end, as we have already completed nine. So final over from the camera end will be bowled by Pawan. Slow left arm orthodox bowler Pawan. 40 matches for him, 36 wickets. Economy very good, 5.52. Best figures of 5 for 20 for Pawan. Will be bowling at Ritvik. Right hand left hand combination still out in the center for Pink Panthers. The only man to be dismissed was Rilasa Reddy. So Pawan, who bowled with the new ball, well, that's in the air, just short of that man in the long off. Starts off with a delivery just back of length on that occasion. Rilasa Reddy looking to hit that one out of the park, off the back foot. Just doesn't get the elevation. Hits it flat, hard, down to long on for a single. Pawan, who's got a resemblance to his action, to Ravindra Jadeja, wide of long on. That's a boundary, welcome boundary for Anirudh MS and Pink Panthers slightly fuller in terms of length by Pawan, and Anirudh MS gets his knee down and he was waiting for something in his arc. He gets one and beautifully hits it right between that mid wicket and wide long on. One bounce for it is. That will get the things going for Pink Panthers. So the short third fielder now moves into the fine leg and more straight a field now. Very straight fine leg. Sorry, very straight mid wicket apart from very wide long on. So the gap between in that region has been now plugged off. Change of a guard now coming over the wicket. Pawan for the left hander. A very regular field for Pawan. This time Anirudh gets down the track, doesn't get out of the middle, but still enough to go over the head of the deep fielder in the long on for a six. Well, what a shot that was. I must say, not right out of the screws, but still good enough. He's a strong lad, Anirudh MS. He packs a punch, gets the six. Boundary now a six. 10, in fact 11 already of the over. With that single they'll get 12 of the over. An expensive over from Pawan, usually very economical with his spell, but now goes for 12 in his very first over. Still a delivery to ball. Strike will be back with the right hander Ritwik. 13 of 15 for Ritwik, whereas 48 of 30 for Anirudh MS. His turn things around in this over. Once again, hit away, looking for the boundary, but straight to the deep square leg fielder on couple of bounces. So it will only be a single to close out the over. So 13 coming off the 10th over, last from this end. A good over from Pink Panthers. So all in all, we are halfway through in the very first inning. Pink Panthers are 83 for the loss of 1 after 10. There will be a change in end and players will have drinks. We'll be right back after a very short break. 50 is for Anirudh. 50 is up for Anirudh. He got that one in good time. 52 deliveries to get to his milestone. In the air, just wide of Yash in his follow through. He got his right hand wide stretch out, but still could not get to the ball. So it's only a single down to long on. Well, 7 runs coming off the 11th over. Pink Panthers 90 for the loss of one. So more spin from the game changers. They are looking to change the pace of the match, getting his getting their experienced bowler Pawan back into the attack. Very economical bowler Pawan. He went for 13 in his first over, but his captain showing faith on him and giving him the second over, giving him another go. So change of ends for Pawan. Starts off with a good delivery, punched off the back foot down to long on for a single. Very productive area long on for both the batters. They prefer to take single in that region. A very straight line from Pawan. He'll look to attack the stumps. He's got very resemblance to Ravindra Jadeja in terms of his action, and he's got the accuracy. Well, this time, as I said, he's very accurate. Goes through the defense of Anirudh MS. 50 and out for Anirudh MS in this match. That's a very full straight delivery on the stump. Anirudh MS looking for a big shot, looking for the slog sweep. Just plays down the wrong line and gets the furniture behind him disturbed. Second one bites the dust for Pink Panthers. Well, Pawan, expensive in his first over, comes back strongly and strikes for the game changers. Pink Panthers now 91 for the loss of 2. Anirudh MS departs after scoring 50. The captain is in at number 4 for Pink Panthers, Aditya NK. Another left-hand batter making his way out to the center after the departure of left-hander. So left-hander replacing left-hander. Pink Panthers going with the right hand, continuing with the right hand left hand combination. 97 matches for Aditya NK. 894 runs, averaging just under 20, strike rate 107.19. He's a very good batter. Aditya NK doesn't get to bat along on regular basis these days. Driven on the up, just wide of that short covers fielder. So it will be a single down to long off for Aditya to get himself underway, get himself off the mark with a single. 20 of 21 for Ritvik S. He needs to get a move on as well. A very full delivery on the stump, went for the slog sweep. That's the biggest part of the boundary. Well, the fielder there made a mess out of that one. He was charging in, that ball went over his head, and it's a one bounce four as well. That was a chance there, but the deep fielder there made a mess out of that one. Ritvik gets a lifeline. In fact, he gets a boundary for that as well. Good intent. Looking for the big shot, but doesn't get out of the middle, but still will fetch a boundary. A very eventful over. 6 runs and a wicket so far. Once again, very full. This time, it's been lifted straight as an arrow on a side screen. A better connection. Hits it flat, but hits it well enough to go all the way. That's a 6. picked bones out of that one. Ritwik. So all in all, 12 runs and a big wicket of Anirudh MS coming off that over by Pawan. 100 is up in the meantime for Pink Panthers. 102 for the loss of 2 after 12. Yes, to bowl out. He'll be the first bowler to bowl out. 3 overs, 23 for none. So far for Yash, he's bowled well. He's got a slip in play as well. Starts off with a very full delivery on the pads. Worked away in the mid wicket. Yes, they're going after the ball and keeping the batter to one on that occasion. Slip, gully, and cover. Slip, gully, and point inside the circle. Once again, worked on the mid wicket. Yes, after the ball. This time they are going for the second run and they'll get the second. Well, a misfield by Chanchanaidu. Well, he came up to the stumps. Yes, there, hand over the ball at him and he makes a mess out of that one. So no one behind Chanchanaidu. So it was an easy third for both the batters. This is excellent piece of running between the wicket. First running that couple of runs hard, then making full use of that overthrow as well. Ritvik now moving along nicely. 33 of 24 for him. Well, looking to cut on that occasion. Aditya NK trying to play late. Not much gap behind. Point on the offside. Driven on the up. Just wide of that short covers. Will that be cut off by long off? Yes, it will. In fact, they'll get two. What an excellent piece of running between the wicket by these two. Well, Aditya NK fresh legs out into the center. Ritvik, he's been out there for a while, but still very quick between the wicket. Completes that second run with ease. Once again, looking to cut, trying to get that gap behind point. Not much gap there. Point, gully fielder inside the circle. Slip also in play. So he needs to get that very fine and just wide of slip. Well, that's a loosener from Yash and Aditya NK makes full use of that one. Beautiful lifts it over extra cover for a boundary. No chance for sweeper cover to cut that off. Well, Yash is bowled well, but is given a freebie at the very last ball of his spell. So 10 runs coming off the 13th over by Yash. Pink Panthers now moving along nicely. They've got 112 for the loss of 2 after 13. Another introduction in the bowling attack. Santosh SS39 into the attack. Well, looking for the second run there. Ritvik S sent back by Aditya NK from the non-strike from the striker end. Well, look like there was a second run there, but Aditya NK not interested. Looks like he wants the strike against Santosh. Right arm medium pacer Santosh balls in with a good run up but not very quick in terms of pace. Relies heavily on his line on length. Very full delivery. Attacking the stumps, clipped away down to mid wicket. Well, they'll come back for second run on that occasion. A misfield will make that easy for both the batters. This is excellent running between the wicket. Ran that first one hard and then comes back for the second run with ease. Running between the wicket has been on point for Pink Panthers right from the word go. A length delivery looking for the big shot. An appeal for the leg before. But match official says not out as that ball was clearly pitching down the leg. So no point that you can get an LBW blow from around the wicket by hitting that sort of length. Leg by signal by the umpire. Ritwik coming down the track, looking for the biggie, and he gets it. Well, the fielder there in the deep looked interested for a very long time, but it was always going over his head. That's a massive six from Ritwik. He moves to 40s with that six, 40 of just 26 deliveries. Well, he was on a ball 20 couple of hours ago, but now moves to 40. Gets his second 20 in a very quick time. Ritwik S, very capable batter. His strike rate, his career strike rate is up there, over 150. So he's very capable of hitting long ball. He's shown as why on that shot, on that ball. Gets down the track. Santosh there just throwing that ball wide of him, but it was full. So Ritwik has got a good reach. Flat bats one out of the park over the side screen. That was a good hit. So Santosh will be under some pressure. That's a slow one into the surface. Walked away on the onside. They are looking for the second. They'll get it. Excellent piece of running between the wicket. This is a cricket mind of highest order. Getting a massive six, pushing the fielders right at the rope, then putting that ball right in between mid wicket and long on for a couple of runs. This time walked away in between mid wicket and wide long on. He'll get couple of runs. Ritwik, well now looking for the third one. Well, what happened there? Well, Aditya NK, he was not ready for the third one. Throw was not the best. It was a very loose throw from the deep fielder, which allowed the batter to come back for third one. Excellent running between the wicket by Ritwik. So they'll get 15 of the 14th over by SS39. Pink Panthers now 127 for the loss of 2 after 14. An excellent over under the circumstances from Pawan. Only 6 runs so far of the over. A delivery remaining. Last ball of the over. Slow through the ace. Lock sweep. But there's a fielder behind. In the deep mid wicket. They are taking one for the throw and they'll get that one. Excellent piece of running between the wicket. So 2 runs coming off the last ball. All in all, 8 runs coming off the 15th over by Pawan. Pink Panthers 135 for the loss of 2. 3 quarters out of 4 now completed in this match. So this will be the final 5 overs for Pink Panthers. The 135 for the loss of 2. Big hitters like Mahinder Reddy yet to come for Pink Panthers. They look to maximize in the final 5. Bharat Kumar now back into the attack. Excellent first 2 overs from Bharat Kumar. Now comes back into the attack to complete his spell and the overs for the game changers as well. He'll bowl the 16th. Will definitely bowl out. Bharat Kumar will bowl 2 in this 5 remaining 5 overs. 2 overs 6 for none so far for him. He's been excellent. Now coming around the wicket. In fact, coming over the wicket for the left-hander. Driven on the up, just wide of that long off. Who came in charging towards the ball and keeps the batter to 1. This is excellent piece of running. In fact, fielding in the deep. Well aware that both the batters are looking for 2. Charged in, came in sharply, kept the batter to 1 with that single. Ritvik now back on strike. He's on the verge of getting to landmark of 50. 49 of 31 for Ritvik S. Started off really slow, but he's gathered good pace now. Well moved early there, looking to access that fine leg, but Bharat Kumar does it exceedingly well by hiding that ball well outside off stump. Nothing much that Ritvik could have done on that occasion. This is what experience does to you. Very experienced, tons of experience behind Bharat. Once again, a length delivery into the surface, punched off the back foot, a misfield in the cover, but good backup by the long off fielder. So it will only be a single for Ritvik S. He'll get it to his half century with that single. 50 of 33 deliveries for Ritvik S. Is not celebrating one as he's desperately searching for boundaries. His focus will be on a big finish for Pink Panthers. Well, this time Aditya NK does exceedingly well to get that one into the fine leg, but the short third fielder comes around and he cuts it off. It will only be a 2 for Pink Panthers. Well, Aditya NK made his mind that he's going to play scoop. That was a yorker from Bharat Kumar. Some way Aditya NK managed to scoop it in the fine leg, but didn't have enough legs. This time played on the rise, wide of long off. Will they go for 2? Yes, they are going for a throw. Is a good one, and that will be the end of Ritvik S. Well, the second batter dismissed immediately after scoring 50. An excellent throw from the deep fielder in the long off region to get rid of well set Ritvik S. Pink Panthers lose their third. Ritvik S. The man dismissed immediately after scoring 50. Darshit, the man there in the deep, in long off region, who does exceedingly well. Good over from Bharat Kumar so far. 5 runs and a wicket coming in this over. Last ball to be bowled. 140 for the loss of 3 after 15.5. New batter in is Sachin Rathore ahead of Mahinder Reddy. Sachin Rathore makes his way out to the center. 304 matches for Sachin Rathore, 5007 runs, averaging 25.68, strike rate 106.15 for Sachin Rathore. Will be at the non-striker end. Comes in ahead of Mahinder Reddy. Last ball of the over. Aditya looking for the big shot. Doesn't get off the middle, but will still get a boundary. Two fielders converging there, no one giving a call. In the end, that ball goes for a boundary. That's a good result for Pink Panthers. So they get 9 out of that one. 144 for the loss of 3 after 16 now. Pink Panthers. Final 4 overs remaining in this match. Chanchanaidu now back into the attack. Only an over so far for Chanchanaidu. Comes back into the attack to ball the 17th. He's bowled well in his first over. Went for 4 and picked the priceless wicket of Rilasa Reddy in his first over. Starts off with a single. He's got good variations up his sleeves. Chanchanaidu. He's got a very deceptive off cutters. He'll definitely ball an off cutter against the left hander as he'll get the ball to go away. Yes, he does. A huge appeal for the leg before, but that ball was clearly down the leg. So it's been singled as a leg by. Just a formality appeal there from the bowler that was pitching down the leg, and no way it was going to hit the stumps. So two singles so far in this over. Good start for Chanchanaidu. Another off cutter, but this time the direction was wrong. On the pads of Sachin Rathore, who beautifully sweeps it away from the deep square leg and gets a boundary. Good start for Sachin Rathore. Gets a boundary at the very second ball he faces. Beautifully sweeps it fine away from the deep square leg fielder. 150 is up for Pink Panthers. 150 for the loss of 3 after 16.3. Another off cutter there from Chanchanaidu, but this time better length and better line on a length outside off stump. Nothing much that Sachin Rathore could have done. Just cuts one away on the point for a single. 7 runs of the over. Still two deliveries to be bowled. Pink Panthers will look to maximize as we are into final 4 overs. After this, only 3 overs remaining. Very full delivery. Gets it right in the block hole for the left-hander, who still gets it away for a single down to long off. Aditya NK very strong on offside. He'll look to make room for himself to access that offside. So last ball of the over coming up. 9 runs so far of the over. This time pace is up and inside edge. Ball moves into the square leg. Will they look for second? No, they have to settle in for a single. Excellent piece of work there in the deep. So all in all, 9 runs coming off that 17th over. Pink Panthers 153 for the loss of 3 after 17. Bharat Kumar will bowl out. Starts off with an off cutter into the surface. Sachin Rathore looking to pull. Gets an inside half of the bat. Ball moves all along the carpet down to square leg for a single. This is good from the bowling team. Game changers. They have taken pace off on regular basis just to contain the batters. Bharat Kumar continuing over the wicket for the left-hander as well. Into the surface. Very quick delivery. Aditya Anke clearly late on the shot. Gets it high on the bat. That ball almost carrying to Bharat Kumar on his follow through. He takes it on a one bounce. That's a dot ball. Aditya NK should expect that pace delivery at that same time. Needs to be ready for the slow one as well. This time, once again, pace was up. This time, banged away into the surface looking for the short ball. Aditya NK this time was up to the task. Beautifully pulls it over fine leg for a boundary. Well, very predictable delivery from Bharat Kumar. Tries to repeat the delivery that he bowled on the previous, but this time Aditya NK well aware of that one. Driven square just 5 wide of that point fielder. By the time the sweeper cover comes around and cut that off, Aditya NK will be back for the second one. Good support from Sachin Rathore at the non-striker. 160 is up for Panthers now in 17.4 overs. 7 runs of the over so far. Bharat Kumar is all pace up against the left-hander Aditya NK. This time he changes his pace, very full in terms of length, beautifully driven on the up, down to square leg. Well, fielder there fumbled to take the ball at once, and both the batters making full use of that one and came back for the second run with ease. 9 runs of the over now so far. Yet a delivery to be bowled. 3.5 overs, 24 for none for Bharat Kumar. Well, that's in the air. Sweepakawa coming under and he puts it down. Will that ball go for a boundary? Yes, it does. Well, that was in the air for a very long time. Sweepakawa does exceedingly well to get to the ball and puts it down. That ball bursts through his hands and goes for a boundary. That's a good result for Pink Panthers. They'll get 13 of the 18th over. Pink Panthers 166 for the loss of 3 after 18. Final 2 overs remaining in the match. What more can the Pink Panthers add on to this? Mahinder Reddy yet to bat. Very explosive batter. Low down the order. Likes to give the finishing touches. Likes to bat in the final 5 overs. But only 2 overs remaining in this innings now. 12 balls remaining. Sachin Rathore on the strike. Chanchanaidu to ball his third and the 19th of the match. Well, gives the charge, gets to the pitch, lifts it over covers, but straight to the sweeper cover on couple of bounces. It will only be a single. Sachin Rathore, they're asking for the second run, but Aditya N.K. sends him back. He won't strike. The captain of Pink Panthers, he wants the strike. He wants to go after the bowlers. 10 balls remaining. In fact, 11 balls remaining in this innings. A very full delivery on the pads. Aditya swings, but only manages to get an inside edge onto the pad. Ball moves to the point region for a single, where the player was set right at the edge in the circle. So it was an easy single for Aditya N.K. Good over from Chanchanaidu so far. Only two coming off his two deliveries. Well, Sachin moved early, but cannot beat that fine leg fielder. Moved early, looked for that scoop shot, got down on his knee, but no pace on the ball to walk with. So hits it straight to the fine leg, in fact, to the fine leg fielder for a single. Three singles so far in this over. This is excellent from Chanchanaidu. Hit straight down to long on. A misfield will allow the batter to come back for two. Well, there was never a second run there. Even the batters were not interested for the second run, but the misfield allows the batter to come back for two. 171 for the loss of 3 now. 8 balls remaining in the match. Short ball. That ball had pace on it. Pulled away. Came off the toe of the bat, but still good enough for 2. Excellent piece of running between the wicket. Between these two, Aditya N.K. and Sachin Rathore. 7 runs of the over so far. Last ball in this over remaining. What a ball that was from Chanchanaidu, but somehow Aditya N.K. manages to get an outside edge. That was stoppable. Wicket keeper, well, makes a mess and lets the ball go through for a boundary, and over ends on a high for Pink Panthers as they get 11 of the 19th over. 177 for the loss of 3 after 19. Final 6 balls remaining in this innings. What more can the Pink Panthers add? Akhil Reddy now back into the attack. He's gone for runs in the power play. 2 overs 24 for none so far for Akhil. Starts off with a slow one. Drilled hard down the ground but all along the carpet for a single down to long off. 178 for 3 after 19.1. Aditya NK 44 of 27 now back on strike. Will look to get to his 50. Aditya NK, he'll be the third batter if he gets to that landmark. Well, beautifully late cut. Very full outside of stump and beautifully cut and beats the gully fielder towards his right and that gets the boundary. Much needed boundary for Pink Panthers in the final over. Aditya NK batting very nicely here. 48 of just 28 deliveries so far for him. He'll look to get another boundary for his team. This time, beautifully square drives one over the point. Couple of bounces and into the boundary skirting it goes. That brings the half century for the captain of Pink Panthers. 52 of 29. Aditya NK take a bow. Well, he's controlled the innings so far from the time he has come in to bat. Well, he's not very explosive, but he's got the class, he's got the elegance, he's proving out his worth. A full toss in the air, once again square driven, but this time will be cut off by the sweeper. They are coming back for two and they'll get the two with ease. An excellent over so far for Pink Panthers as they get 11 of that one. Two deliveries still remaining in this over. 188 on the board for the Pink Panthers. Well, the game changers giving away runs in the final over. This time, Akhil goes for the Yorker, gets it right, but still not good enough to contain the batter for one as they come back for two with ease. What a what a running between the wicket between these two. They have got two runs before the long on fielder gets to the ball and gets it back to the fielder. Excellent piece of running between the wicket. 13 runs of the over so far. Last ball of the innings. Once again in the air. Couple of bounces down to sweeper cover. They are coming back for two. Throw is just wide of that fielder, but good enough to get that run out. Well, Aditya NK, they're sacrificing his wicket to get that extra run. Darshit there in the sweeper cover does exceedingly well. So does the wicketkeeper D9. So it's a wicket at the very last ball. So 191 for the loss of 4 is what Pink Panthers have managed while batting first. 192 will be the target for the game changers when they come out to chase. We'll be right back with the chase on the other side of the match. Do catch us. Welcome back to the chase. Shrish with the new ball for Pink Panther. That's a wide outside, that wide line on the offside. First runs on the board for the game changers. That too a wide. Two wides to start off the proceedings for Sirish, Pawan, and Akhil are the two openers. Out in the centers for the game changers. So right hand, left hand combination at the top for the game changers as well. That's a very good delivery played with the soft hands. So it will only be a single to get the things underway for Pawan. He gets off the mark with that single, which gives the strike to Akhil. 335 matches for Akhil, 5,259 runs, averaging just under 23, 22.97 for Akhil. Strike rate 122.87. He's a very good batter. He's a right-hander. Will be facing Sirish, the left-hand pacer for the Pink Panthers. 131 matches for Sirish, 103 wickets, economy 6.40, best figures of 5 for 27 for Sirish. Very good delivery, attacking the stumps right on the money. Akhil does well to keep it out. Sirish usually very good, but his ball too wide to start off his spell and the start of his innings, but only one in his next two deliveries. So all in all, three without any loss after two deliveries in the very first over. That's a beauty on the length, leaving the right-hander who tries to cut that one but fails to get any connection on the ball on that occasion. That's a dot ball. Game changers chasing 192 in their 20 overs. It's not an easy target to chase against Pink Panthers. Pink Panthers will have the spirits up as they get over the line against the Ara Stones in the previous match by just one runs. They beaten one of the best teams in the competition, so their tail will be up. Well, there's a change in field immediately, so no fine leg inside the circle. So one fielder sent back deep on the onside. That's a very fine deep square leg and mid on. So only two fielders on the offside. Second slip and a gully very short in for Sirish. Once again a beautiful channel there from Sirish on a length, leaving the right-hander on the left right-hander on the angle. At the moment he's getting the ball to shape away from the right-hander, but he's got the ability to get the ball right back in for the right-hander as well. Three without any loss inside the very first over. Fourth dot on a trot against Akhil by Sirish. Last ball of the over. Very full. Once again leaving the right-hander. This time gets the bat on the ball, but straight to the point. That's a fifth dot to close out the over. Three coming off the very first over by Sirish. A steady start for the game changers. Three without any loss after one. M. Siddharth to share the new ball alongside Sirish. Right arm pacer Siddharth is tall. Will get that extra bound out of this surface. 139 matches for Siddharth, 100 wickets. Economy under 6, 5.49. Best figures of 4 for 11 for Siddharth. Coming over the wicket for the left-hander. Drifts one down on the pads. That's beautifully clipped fine. No chance for the fine leg fielder to cut that off. That's raised away very nicely. First boundary for the game changers. Pawan gets into the act. Gets the first boundary for himself and his team. He moves to 5 of 2 deliveries. That was a poor start from Siddharth. Drifting on the pads. Only thing the batter needs to do on that was get bat on the ball, and Pawan does that exceedingly well and gets it fine. Beats the short fine leg fielder towards his left and gets a boundary. This time played with the soft hand, guides the ball. There's a fielder behind in the point, so it's only a single. This is good from Siddharth. A better length and a better channel. Now the strike is back to Akhil, who is yet to get off the mark. He's faced 5 deliveries, but he's yet to get off the mark in this match so far. A slip in play for Akhil. Gets off the mark with that single. Played with the soft hands in the covers and gets himself off the mark. Aditya NK there inside the circle. Fails to cut that single off. Score moves to 9. This is good over so far for the game changers, as they have got 6 in the very first half of the over. Very full, but well outside that wide line on the offside, so it's been given wide by the umpire. Score moves into the double figures for game changers with that. They moves to 10. 10 without any loss after 1.3. A very steady start for game changers as well. Very similar to Pink Panthers, but they went hard after first couple of overs. Very full delivery, driven straight, a misfield in the mid off region. That ball goes off to a boundary that should have been only a single, but a misfield from Ritvik allows the ball to go to a boundary. Outfield very quick here at one champion, gives no chance for the fielder in the outfield to cut that off. Pawan now moves into double figures with that boundary. That was the second boundary for him. Very solid in terms of technique. Pawan beautifully gets on the front foot, gets its body behind the ball and drives it straight. Once again, very full, this time handsomely driven in the extra cover. Mid off fielder after that one, but will only fetch that ball back to the bowler. That's a boundary. Back to back boundaries for Pawan, a much convincing one. Score moves to 18 with that boundary. An expensive first over from Siddharth. He goes for 15, yet a delivery to ball. Well, the game changers going after the youngster. Last ball of the over. Once again, full driven, but this time doesn't beat the cover point fielder. It's a dot ball to close out the over. A still good one for the batting team as they get 15 of that one. After 2 overs, game changers 18 without any loss. Series to continue. Starts off with a length delivery punched off the back foot. Looking for the quick single there, Akhil. Sent back by the non-striker Pawan. That's a dot ball. Shirish, he's bowled exceedingly well. Apart from that couple of fights, he's only conceded single so far. Once again, length delivery. He's, bo- he's hitting that area consistently against the right-hander, getting the ball to shape away as well with the angle. He's got two fielders for that outside edge and the cut. He's got second slip and a very short catching gully. And he's got deep fielder in the third man as well. A very packed field out there. Well, a slash. That ball goes over gully. Straight to the third man for a single. Well, Akhil had enough. Went hard at that ball. Got a very thick outside edge. That ball flew over gully. But there's a fielder behind. So good field set. It will only be a single. Now strike will be back with the left-hander Pawan, who's moving along nicely. 14 of 6 deliveries for Pawan so far. Walked away with the very soft hands into the mid wicket. Was right at the edge of the circle, so it was an easy single. Score moves to 20. A good over so far from Sirish. Only 2 runs coming off that one. A lot depends on how game changers play their power play. They're after 192. Punched off the front foot. Down to long off, just wide of him. So good running between the wicket to complete that single. This is much better from Akil. 3 of 10 deliveries for Akil. Inside the power play, he needs to get a move on. Whereas Pawan, he's rolling along nicely. 15 of just 7 deliveries. All in all, game changes 21 without any loss. Last ball of the third over. Very full delivery. Gets the outside edge. Looking for the sharp single and they'll get it. Excellent piece of running between the wicket. Only 4 runs coming off the third over. 22 without any loss after 3. The game changers. What a shot that was! A first one from Akil. Waits on nicely, lets the ball come through. That's a length delivery. Width was there and beautifully put away between cover point and covers. Score moves to 29. Akil now moves to 8 with that boundary. A much needed boundary for Akil and the game changer. Siddharth continuing. He's been expensive today for Pink Panthers. 1.4 overs, 22 for none so far for Siddharth. This time, Akil goes over the infield on the onside. Couple of bounces and into the skirting it goes over mid on. No chance for that fielder. By backpedaling to cut that off, that was beautifully lifted, slightly over pitch from Siddharth. And Akil needs no second invitation. He started off slow, but now getting into his groove. He's made up for the dot deliveries that he played. He needs to continue on the very way for the game changers. Once again, cut away. But there's a fielder behind in the point region. After that boundary, so it will only be a single. Another good over for the game changers as they get 12 of that one. After 4 overs, 34 without any loss. Game changers. Did that ball carry? It looked like it got the outside edge of Pawan's bat, but did that carry to the wicket keeper? Or did that bounce before? The square leg umpire says yes, it does carry. Well, that's the first one for the Pink Panthers. Game changers. Game changers lose Pawan. Well, Pawan not happy with the decision there. It was an outside edge, clearly there. No, no talks on that one. But the only question was there that did it carry comfortably to the wicket keeper? Answer was there. Yes, it does. Eventually, just carries to that wicket keeper. That ball kept low, full enough to drive, but Pawan only managing an outside edge. Holds out to the wicketkeeper. First one down for the game changers in the fifth over. Series the man to get the wicket. So first one down for the game changers. Pawan the man dismissed. New batter in is D9. In at number 3 for the game changers. 73 matches for D9. 824 runs, averaging just under 19, 18.73. Strike rate under 120 for D9, 118.90. Very good batter D9. In at number 3 for the game changers. Right hander making his way out to the center, the captain of the game changers. While looking to cut, gets beaten on the bounce on that occasion D9. Very good batter D9. He's played some good knocks in this tournament so far. He's not one of the tallest batter D9, but very effective with his technique. He's got a big shot as well. He's got good range of shots under his sleeves. That's an absolute peach. You can't play at that one. D9 was forced to play at that one. Almost gets the outside edge. Just short of good length. Climbing at good height and a late movement beats D9 on outside edge. That's a super over from Sirish. 3 runs and a priceless wicket of Pawan coming in that one. So 37 for the loss of one after 5. Game changers. First change in the bowling attack. Ritesh Kumar now into the attack to bowl the final over of the power play. Starts off with a length delivery outside off stump. Akhil chasing that one. Looking to lift it over covers. Gets beaten. That's a dot ball. 32 matches for Ritesh. 28 wickets. Economy 7. Best figures of 3 for 20. Bowling the final over of the power play. Once again, swing and a miss, an extra bounce for Ritesh on that occasion. Akhil looking to cut that one, looking to get that one over point. An extra bounce beats him there. This is good from Ritesh. He's abstracting some extra bounce from the surface, hitting the deck hard. That's the key to success. Well, there is a change in field as well. Now a fielder from cover point has been removed and he's been placed in the slip region. So slip and a gully, very short catching gully. Played with the soft hands of the back foot, looking for that quick single, but it's not there. Ritesh does exceedingly well in his follow through, keeps the batter to not. 3 dots on a trot in his first over. Akhil, 15 of 19 deliveries for him. He's the set batter in. He needs to make he needs to make use of the power play. Akhil has failed to make the use of field restriction. This time gets down the track, looks to get to the pitch of the ball, but Ritesh once again doesn't get off his target and banks one into the surface as he did on the previous three deliveries. Well, very accurate with his length. Ritesh Kumar so far, not allowing the batter to get on the front foot. He's got the two fielders behind, one in deep gully, now two behind square leg on the leg side. This time hit hard, but that ball carried to the fielder on a bounce in the mid off, who makes a slight misfield, good enough for Akhil to get away for a single. And now Strike is back with D9, the captain of the game changers, who's yet to get off the mark. He's faced two deliveries, but yet to get off the mark. A super over from Ritesh Kumar, only one coming off it. So last ball of the power play. D9 comes down the track, cuts one, but straight in the hands of Gully. Mahinder Reddy there, who hasn't have to move an inch, takes a blinder. That ball came at very good pace, but quick hands of Mahinder Reddy make it look effortlessly. So D9 fails to open his account and departs cheaply today. Second one for the Pink Panthers coming at the last ball of the power play. 38 for the loss of 2, the game changers after 6. Well, that's lifted wide of long off. Will that beat the fielder? No, it doesn't. Ritvik there does exceedingly well. Saves couple of runs for his team as well. Srivatsan into his second over. 1.2 overs, 10 for none so far for Srivatsan. He's a very handful bowler. Balls in with very short run up. Got get his have a he has a good variation up his sleeve. Srivatsan, very effective leg cutter and the off cutter at the same time. Darshit was the new batter in at number 4 for the game changers. Once again slow through the air, driven just wide of that cover fielder. Well, long off there, very wide to cut that sort of shot, and Ritvik does exactly that and keeps the batter to one. Very good fielding in the outfield by Pink Panthers. They're not letting the batters get that couple of runs with ease. They're stopping those singles. They're not allowing the batters to convert one into twos. This is good. Good shot, but only for a single down to mid wicket. That came right out of the middle, but doesn't find the gap on that occasion. 27 of 29 from Akhil. He needs to take a responsibility from here on. He is a well set batter now. 59 for 2 game changers after 8.5. Last ball of the over. Cut away, but doesn't get off the middle. Good fielding by Aditya. They are looking for the second run. They'll take one for the throw. This is excellent running between the wicket. Both the batters need to do this on regular basis. So 8 runs coming off the ninth over by Srivatsan. Game changer 61 for the loss of 2. Well, the required rate now has creeped up just under to 11.91. Signs of worry for the game changers. They need to get a move on. They need a boundary every over from here on. 61. Ritesh Kumar will continue. 2 overs, 9 for 1 for Ritesh. He's bowled exceedingly well. Will bowl the final over from this end. 61 for 2 game changers. 131 needed in 66 at the required rate of 11.91. Pink Panthers were not well ahead at this moment. They were 70 for 1 at the 9 over mark. Game changers haven't fallen too much behind, but they have a chase in hand. They need to accelerate from here on. This is good from Ritesh. Length delivery outside off stump. Well, Akhil throwing kitchen sink at that one, but gets no connection on the ball. This has been the tactic so far from Ritesh. He's balled away from the hitting arc of the right hander, and he's balled a beautiful length as well to keep the batters quiet. Deep point and third man in play for Ritesh. This time goes full, driven square. A slight misfield in the point by Mahinder Reddy will allow the batter to scamper through for a single. This is good. Seizing on the opportunity that is presented. 62 for the loss of 2 after 9.2. Only single so far of this over. Driven handsomely but straight to the point fielder only for a single. Covers. Short covers is the only fielders in the inner circle covering that good ground, so plenty of space there for the boundaries. Batters need to get it in front of point. Well, this time looking for the big shot, gets it right off the toe. Fielder there, back paddling, gets a good hand to it, but fails to hold on. Well, that was a very difficult chance, but it was still there for the takings. He did well to get underneath that one, but as he was back paddling, so fails to hold on to that one. Akhil will get couple of runs for that. Good change up from Ritesh Kumar. That was a slow one, deceiving the batter. Once again, another slow one. This time Akhil does exceedingly well. Beautiful lifts it over covers. But the sweeper cover fielder will cut that off. But it will be couple of runs for Akhil. It's just that the pace was not there on that ball. Le- so doesn't have enough legs to go all the way. Good intent from Akhil. Last ball from this end. Short ball into the surface, looking for the pull, but that ball kept low, never climbed as much as Akhil anticipated. So dot ball to close out the over. A good one from Ritesh Kumar. 6 runs coming off that one. 67 for the loss of 2 at the halfway mark in the chase. The game changers. They need another 125 in remaining 10 overs at the required rate of 12.5. There will be a change in end and players will have drinks as well. So we'll be right back after a very short break. That's a beautifully executed wrong one. Pitched outside off stump, then coming in sharply towards the stumps. Ashwath into the attack with his right arm leg break. He is a wicket taker. 305 matches for him, 370 wickets, economy just over 7, best figures of 6 for 13. That's hit hard. Hit straight down the ground, down to long off for a single. A good over, economical over from Ashwath. 5 runs coming off that one, 72 for the loss of 2. Game changers after 11. Well, boundaries, they need boundaries. At least one per over from here on will take them near to the target. So more spin from Pink Panthers as the captain now into the attack. Aditya NK with his right arm off break. 97 matches for him, 121 wickets. Economy 7.83, best figures of 5 for 19. He's a wicket taker to Aditya NK. He's got cover point inside the circle and deep extra cover outside the circle. Slow through the air, swinging across the line. Darshit on that occasion, looking for that slog sweep. Gets beaten. That's a dot ball to start off. Gap there in between long on and mid wicket and square leg, but that's a very long boundary. Cut away beautifully in between point and cover point. That ball racing away and will get to the fence first. That's a boundary, much needed one from Darshit. And the game changers beautifully waits on to that one and puts it in the gap between point and cover point and gets a boundary there, Darshit. That's a much better way, much conventional shot, much risk free shot for a boundary. Once again, tossed up outside off stump, lifted, but there is a fielder behind in the deep extra cover, so it will only be a single. This is smart piece of bowling from Aditya NK. He's bowled outside off stump, but this time he bowled full, so no chance for that cut shot. Eventually, batter went for that lofted shot. He's got a fielder behind in extra cover. This time the batter goes for a big shot and gets a good chunk of his bat that goes all the way in the long off region. Fielder they looked interested, but that ball clearly going over his head. That's launched from Akil. Now he moves into 40s. 41 of 38 for Akil. This is good over. 11 already of this over. Well, the game changers getting a move on now. Once again, a big shot. This time will not go all the way and taken in the deep. Well, one shot too many for Akil. This time length was not there, hence no elevation. Hits it flat, hard. Ritvik there in the deep makes no mistake, and Akhil dismissed for 41, looking to up the ante for the game changers, but holds out in the long on. 83 for the loss of 3 after 11.5. Aditya NK with the breakthrough. New batter in is A. Bharat Kumar in at number 5 for game changers. A very good all-round cricketer, Bharat Kumar. He's a very experienced cricketer. 733 matches for Bharat, 14,576 runs, averaging just under 32. Strike rate very healthy, 124.20 for Bharat Kumar. He is a very good batter, very accomplished batter. Bats in a middle order for The game changes. He's bowled well, but what does he has to offer with the bat? Cut away, but straight to the cover point fielder. That's a dot ball. Good comeback from Aditya. 11 runs and a wicket of Akil coming in that over after 12. 83 for the loss of 3 game changers. That's an excellent shot from Darshit. Played the ball very late. There was plenty of gap there. If he gets through, that slip fielder played that beautifully, fine enough. No chance for that point fielder to cut that off on off. Let the ball come to and played it right in front of the wicketkeeper's glove. Another tossed up delivery in the air, but well short of that long on fielder who collects the ball on a bounce. So it will only be a single. 5 runs off the first half of the over. Well, that's hit hard, hit on the up, but will not go to the fence. That's the safe area to hit straight over the bowler's head. Only for a single, but 6 runs off the 4 deliveries. Well, game changers need to convert these overs into big ones. If they get another boundary in this over, it will be a good one for them. Once again, very full in terms of length. Ashwath not allowing enough for the batters to get underneath. Hit hard, but all along the carpet down to long off for a single. This is good from Ashwath. He's a very good, very smart operator. Usually gets wicket on regular intervals, but so far wicketless. 1.5 overs, 12 for none. That's a beautifully delivered wrong one. Started off well outside off stump, then coming in sharply. Cut away. It will be a single. Four. First ball goes for a boundary, then 4 singles in a row so far in this over. Last ball, and he gets rid of the batter. Well, that's beautifully disguised. Wrong one there. Darshit played all over that one, looking for the ball to turn away, but it spinned the other way and hits the timber behind. Well, Ashwath gets the wicket, gets the last laugh against Darshit, gets the fourth one for his team. Darshit played well, but now has to walk back. 91 for the loss of 4 now, the game changers after 13. Aditya NK will continue. Cut off the back foot, straight to deep extra cover for a single. Nanda Kishore Neely, the new batter, in for the game changers, in at number 6. 125 matches for Nanda Kishore, 1928 runs, averaging over 21.19, strike rate 88.93. He's a very good batter in the middle order. Now has a job in hand. Well, looking for the quick single, good pickup and a sharp throw from Mahinder Reddy in the third man region, but still not good enough to stop it, to cut that single off. A direct hit would be a close call, but doesn't hit the target. That's a good shot from Bharat Kumar, but will only be a single down to mid wicket. Aditya NK, he is a smart operator. 1.3 overs, 14 for 1. Likes to get through his overs very quickly. That's the success mantra for Aditya NK. Good delivery once again, spinning in sharply. He doesn't have too many variations up his sleeves, Aditya NK, but very smartly operates in liner length and very accurate. Once again, very close to the stumps. Doesn't allow enough room for the batters to free their arms. If you want to score runs against him, you need to go more conventional way. Risk will be involved in that. Good over from Aditya Anke so far. Only 4 runs of it. Last ball of the over. Once again smashed off the back foot. But down to long on. It will only be a single. Bharat played some good shots, but hasn't found the gap so far. So 5 runs coming off that one. After 14, 96 for the loss of 4. The game changers. Now required rate has moved up to 16 runs per over, as they need 96 of remaining 36 deliveries. Equation getting tougher and tougher by the every over that passes on for the game changers. Well, a boundary from here on every over won't do it for the game changers. They need couple of boundaries every over. Ashwath to continue starts off with a wrong one, punched off the back foot by Bharat Kumar down to long on for a single. Well, Ashwath being very predictable with his wrong ones, bowling well outside off stump. He need to start off more closer to stump and get it on the stump in order to deceive the batter. Well, beautifully cut away, but will not go to the boundary. Doesn't have enough legs. Well, they are looking for the second run. Well, what has wicketkeeper done there? Well, it would have been easy run out if Sachin Rathod, the wicketkeeper, cleanly takes the bails off in a flash. But I don't know what he was thinking. Lets the batter make his ground, gives a lifeline to the batter. Well, he collected the ball and was looking at the non-striker end instead of taking the bails off. That's poor game awareness from the wicketkeeper Sachin. He's usually very good with the gloves. And the Kishore Neely gets away with that one. Well, looks for the big shot, gets it right off the toe. Fielder settling underneath and it exits. Nanda Kishore Neely looking to up the ante. Holds out in the deep. Ritvik S, the man there in the deep, makes no mistake. Well, fifth one goes down. Half of the team now back in the sheds for game changers. 99 for the loss of 5. Ashwath with his second wicket of the day. New batter in is RM56 in at number 7 for the game changers. Hasn't performed well with the ball. RM56 26 matches for him, 665 runs, averaging 35. Strike rate just under 100 for RM56. He's, he is a very good batter, very good all round cricketer. His stats will get much better as he plays on, but this time he hands over easy catch to Ashwath in his follow through, who does exceedingly well to hold on to that one. A soft dismissal for RM56. Cotton bowl for Ashwath. Gets his third one. Sixth one down in a blink of an eye for the game changers. RM56 departs for naught. Doesn't bother troubling the scorers. 99 for 6 now after 15 overs. Game changers. Well, that ball doesn't have enough legs to go all the way. Mahinder Reddy cuts it off. But it will be a couple of runs for Bharat Kumar. This is good intent from the batter. Six to start off the over. Then looking to cut. Gets an underage. No one there in the third man. So it was couple of runs there. Score moves to 110. 8 of first two deliveries. Once again tossed up. A leading edge. Well, fielder there going for the catch. That ball lands right in front of him. Well, no single taken. Strangely, he could have come back for the second one, Bharat Kumar, but said no. He wants to have a go at Ashwath. Low full toss, hit away, right in between long off and mid wicket. Does it go all the way? No, it doesn't. One bounce, four it is. This is good from Bharat Kumar. He's taking likings to the youngster. Ashwath, he's bowled exceedingly well up until now, but he goes for 12 in his four deliveries in this so far over. This is his last over. He's bowling the 17th one. 78 needed of 20. Singles and doubles won't do it for game changers. They need boundaries. They need boundary every second ball. Once again, looking to lift it over extra cover on that occasion. Spin for Ashwath on that occasion beats the batter on the outside edge. Well, will this ball go for a boundary? Last ball of the over. Looking for slog sweep. That ball was very close to that off stump. So it's a dot ball. Good comeback from Ashwant R. Still a good over for game changers, but I feel it's not good enough as they get 12 of 17, 114 for the loss of 6. 78 needed of 18 deliveries. Required rate now 26 runs per over for the game changers. This is way too much in the final 3 overs. Bharat Kumar, he played well for his 21 of 16 deliveries. Santosh, he's just made his way out to the center, yet to get off the mark. Game changers did not counter enough in the power play and in the middle overs. I feel they could have played slightly aggressively. The difference would have been not that big between runs and balls at this stage. Well, looking for the big stay, big shot gets a leading edge. That ball lands right in between short mid wicket and deep square leg. It will be a single. Result is a good one for the game changers. Bharat Kumar now back on strike. Who's searching for that big shots? 77 needed in 17. You need something extraordinary. Well, looks for the big shot. Doesn't get out of the middle and he holds out. Well, Bharat Kumar tried to continue on the very way and holds out in the deep. Ritvik, the fielder there in the deep, takes the third one of the match. And I feel it's the final nail in the coffin for the game changers as a big hitter dismissed for just 21. 115 for the loss of 7 after 17.2. 3 wickets in the tank and 77 needed of 16 deliveries. New batter in is Chanchanaidu, very experienced batter, but well known for his bowling. Now has an impossible task in hand with the bat. 66 matches for Chanchanaidu, 489 runs, averaging just under 13, strike rate just under 100 as well. In at number 9, he is a genuine number 9 batter, Chanchanaidu. Well, hits one big ball, but not big enough to carry to the deep fielder, who collects the ball on a bounce, looking to deposit one into the stands, but it's not that easy. Was hitting to the big up side of the ground. Fielder there now comes in, stands in 3/4. Well, that's a beauty from Aditya. That ball skids through the surface and beats the right hander on the outside edge. Santosh there looking to drive on the up, playing for the turn, but that ball skids through the surface, kept straight, goes with the arm. Super over from Aditya NK. 2 runs and a wicket so far of the over. Last ball of the over. He's got a slip in play. Well, looking to reverse sweep there. Santosh gets no connection with the ball, but Aditya hits the target, gets the wicket in the very last ball of his spell. He ends on a high. 3 overs, 18 for 3 for Aditya NK, where he ends his 4 overs. 116 for the loss of 8 after 18. Game changers now falling down too quickly. They are 8 down, only 2 wickets remaining in the tank. 76 yet to be scored. Only 12 balls remaining in this match. New batter in is Chitti, but he'll be at the non-striker end. Srivatsan now to bowl out. 3 overs, 18 for none so far from Srivatsan. He's yet to get wicket, but he's bowled very economically. Starts off with a leg break. Played off the back foot, straight to the point. It's a dot ball. Well, it's look like the game changers have given it up. They're not looking for the shots. Sanchanaidu flighted up delivery. This time he goes after that one, but there's a misfield in the long off region, so they'll come back for two. Well, fielder there was charging in for that catch, which was never there. A total misjudgment there from the deep fielder. So all the fielders well inside the boundary skirtings for the catch. Well, looking for the big shot this time. Get a good chunk of the bat. Does that go all the way, or is it a one bounce four? We have to wait for the umpire signal. In the slot for the right hander, swings nicely, gets it out of the middle, gets good elevation and gets the distance as well. Both the arms raised wide up by the umpire to signal 6. Once again gets the good piece of the bat. This time taken in the deep. Well, that's an catch to watch out. Ritwik S in the deep takes a blinder. That ball was going over the line, but he has other ideas. Jumps in the air, takes the catch in the mid air. somehow keeps his body weight inside that boundary line. That was a big boundary. The Chanchanaidu was looking to clear, but this time he falls just short. An excellent catch from Ritvik S. That's the fourth one of the day for him. Ninth one down for the game changers, now in danger of getting bowled out. Srivatsan gets his first one of the match. The last man standing for the game changers is Akhil Reddy, who's in at number 11. Bowled with the new ball, but now has bat in a hand. Comes in at number 11. 3.4 overs, 26 for 1. Srivatsan gets a wicket finally. Once again, slow through the air, inviting the bat of a big shot, but Akhil Reddy happy to defend it off the front foot. That's a dot ball. 8 runs and a wicket of Chanchanaidu in this over so far. Last ball of the 19th over, 124 for the loss of 9 game changers. Once again, tossed up delivery, looking for the cover drive. Gets beaten. That's a dot ball. After 19, 124 for 9. Aditya NK having one over up his sleeves. Ritesh, he has one as well. Sirish has one. Siddharth having two overs up his sleeve. Will bowl the final over. 68 needed of 6. Siddharth back into the attack to bowl the final over. It's been not his day so far. 2 overs, 27 for none. It's a good chance for Siddharth to get a wicket in his final over and close out his spell on a high. Slip in place for Siddharth. Starts off with a full delivery attacking the stumps. Chitty swings one away, but only for a single down to mid wicket. Chitty gets off the mark with that single. Strike is back with Akhil Reddy, who's yet to get off the mark. He's faced 2 deliveries, but yet to get off the mark. What a show this has been for Pink Panthers. They have completely outplayed game changers. First performed well with the bat. Got 191 for the loss of 6 while batting first after winning the toss. Then in reply, restricting game changers to 126 for 9 in 19.2. Only 4 balls remaining in this match. A wicket in hand for game changers. Once again, good shot this from Chitty. Got a good piece of bat and hits it well in front of mid wicket. Gets it right between long on and mid wicket for a boundary. That was very full in terms of length. Did exceedingly well. He was swinging across the line, but does exceedingly well to get out of the middle. That ball raced very quickly off the surface. No chance for the deep fielder to cut that off. So 6 runs of the over so far. Chitty looking for some fun here. Looks for the big shot. He's hitting in the longest part of the boundary. Will hold out in the deep. Good shot, but good connection as well, but still not good enough. He got the elevation right, but doesn't get the distance. Good safe catch by the deep mid wicket fielder. Vela there in the deep takes a nice catch. That's it. That was a last wicket for the game changer. It fell down. They only managed 130 while chasing 192. Congratulations to Pink Panthers for winning this match with a handsome margin of 61. Match summary: Pink Panthers winning the toss, opting to bat first. posting 191 for the loss of 4 wickets, 50 for Anirudh MS, 50 for Ritvik as well, then a 50 for Aditya NK takes them to 191. Good handy contribution from Rilasa and Sachin as well. Whereas no real contribution from the game changers batting lineup, only 41 for Akhil. He took too many balls for that 41, 39 of 41 deliveries, 26 for Darshit, 26 of 21, whereas 21 for Bharat Kumar as well, but no other contribution apart from that. All in all, getting bundled out inside the 20 overs, only managing 130 on the board. So, congratulations for game changer for Pink Panthers for winning this match with 61. Player of the match will be Aditya NK for his all round performance. First 57 of 32 with the bat, then 3 overs, 18 for 3 with the ball, makes him the player of the match. That's it from the commentary box. Do catch us in the third match of the day.